Virginia, the West Virginia Class A state championship game for 1993. The Matewan Tigers and the Valley Lumberjacks. Hi again, everybody. I'm Bill Phillips, along with the coach Ty Fleming. And joining us down on the sideline for this championship game, a man of many talents. We're not sure what they are, Gene Stabile. Gene?
How you doing, Bill? You know, you take a look at the field right now, it's a mess, and I mean a total mess. It's I don't know, it's so bad. Remember the Magnolia game last year was awfully wet. You take a look at it this year, it's worse. Now, forget the Nikes that I wore last year and did the skid stuff. Watch the splash. This thing, as I get the cable puller, is just horrible. So it's going to be bad. The balls are going to get wet. They're going to stay wet. After the first quarter, there will be no great passing. I don't think it can happen. But one thing about the turf you didn't mention, Bill, and that is on mud, with the big line that Matewan has, with the advantage there, I think they'd have been able to push Valley around a little bit more. With the AstroTurf, there's a little bit of traction.
Interesting point. Should make for an interesting ball game. And, of course, Gene had the opportunity to go up and see Steubenville Central win the state championship in Ohio Division 5. We'd like to congratulate them on a great season and an Ohio Division 5 championship. And, Coach, right now the coin toss has just been completed. And what are the Lumberjacks going to come out with here early?
Well, in talking with Coach West before the ball game, we may see something different the Valley people aren't used to seeing, and that is we're going to probably see some passing attack come out of them, and even some shotgun look. He talked the last couple of weeks in preparations for their playoff game against Payton City that they had to practice against the shotgun. They had their first-team quarterback working that whole time doing that against his first-team D, and he had so much success with it, they just went ahead and kept practicing over the last couple of weeks. And now he feels that this would be a good night to go ahead and present it out to the other teams, especially with the teams we mentioned, the size that they're going to face tonight in the Tigers.
Well, the Lumberjacks defense will be tested early.
Could be interesting.
Jeremy Boer will do the kicking for the Valley Lumberjacks. And talked about Gene Stabile being a man of many talents, and I know one of those talents right now, trying to keep dry.
No way he has that talent tonight down on that sideline. Keith down there with him and Marianne, all three of them will be very, very wet on the ride home this evening.
Well, we are ready for some football action. Boer, an end-over-end kick. It'll be fielded at the 21-yard line by the Tigers. And the Tigers will have good field position for their first offensive possession at the 36-yard line. On the return, number 42, A.J. Johnson for the Matewan Tigers. Let's take a look at the Tiger offense for this evening. Kennedy, Goff, O'Brien, Johnson, Starr, and Justice, your skill position players for the Tigers. Take a look at their offensive line. Chapman, Ford, Moore, Cisco, and Alera. And they are big up front, Coach. All big men up front, and the Valley Lumberjacks will get a test.
Yes, they're definitely the Valley Lumberjacks over there are not going to be able to line up head on those people. They're going to have to do some shading and some slanting and try to take advantage of their quickness and get into the gaps and assign gap responsibility night to different people and just fill up the gaps and try to get penetration and mess up some of the action in the backfield. Well, they don't want to go butt head to head.
First and 10 for the Tigers from their own 36-yard line. First play from scrimmage of the ball game. Handoff, and how about the Lumberjacks? And you talked about it, the test, and the quickness pays off as they come knifing through to the Lumberjacks. And getting there first, Steve Kane. Take a look at the defense for the Lumberjacks. Potts, Brown, Kane, and Ice up front on the defensive line. The linebackers set up this way. Brown, Yoho, Ballwans, and Miracle, and the defensive backfield, Stover, Long, and Boer. Second down and 11. Goff comes in motion. Handoff to the first man through. That's number 43 for the Tigers, R.K. Alera.
Ball carried by number 43.
We saw there on the first down that they threw him there for the yard loss, the thing we were talking about earlier, and that's the quickness of Valley has come into play. They ran a little counter trap. As we come back to the second down play here, there's kind of their wing T motion across, just a straight veer dive, and they're taking advantage of the size up front to pick up 8 yards there. So now we're looking at 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 from the 43. Handoff to Johnson. He'll be short of the first down. So on their first possession, Matewan looking to establish the run, and the Jacks holding, and we'll see if the Tiger offense is willing to kick it away here as the ball is spotted at the 46-yard line.
Yes, big number 50, it looks like, is dropping back for Matewan. We look here at the third down play, the inside trap there to the fullback, big number 42, running in there behind his blocking, A.J. Johnson.
Ford back to do the kicking back deep for the Lumberjacks as we have a fake, and wide open is one of the ends for the Matewan Tigers, number 86, I believe it was, Richard Mahone, and he hauls it in. Number 86, the fake punt works, and the Tiger offense will get another crack at it. Had in the back of my mind, didn't get a chance to say it. You never know, short distance, you might see the fake punt early, but it works for the Tigers, and they have an opportunity. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 37 of Valley.
We'll take a quick look here to replay on the fake punt. It was a snap to the up back, and right there he is throwing the ball to the tight end on the left-hand side, who snuck right down the field wide open.
We have a...
Go ahead, Bill, I'm sorry.
Well, we're still looking at the replay on 1st down. The Tigers looking to go off tackle to the near side, and they had a hold. It will go against the Tigers, and the Jacks will push them back.
Looks like the flags there on the 34-yard line, so we'll be backing them up there to the 44-yard line, being a spot foul. Take a look at the first down play. We see the counter action there with the reverse, and the man out in front here on the ground, number 64, was holding the outside corner for Valley on that play. We're looking at 1st and 17.
Jimmy Stover with the stop there for the Jacks. 1st and 15. They fake the little counter, and getting away is Tiger quarterback Kennedy, and he is all the way down to inside the 20-yard line, down to about the 17.
Yes, that was the play off of the penalty play in which he faked the counter back in there and then kept it himself to the outside. A Valley defender was there and had him, as we'll see on the replay here. Look at the inside counter fake right there, and just get out of the reach of the hand right there. Nice block by 43 for him, R.K. Alera, and he just opened up the field, and here comes the speed of Valley in the play to cut him off on the 17-yard line.
Jimmy Stover, the defensive back, coming across and making the stop. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Johnson on the carry, and he is stopped after a short gain. Knifing through quickly, number 74, to make the initial hit, Steve Ice, and then Johnson cleaned up afterward, and Jacks are going to have to come up with a big stand here.
Oh, yes, down here on the, appears to be about the 14.5-yard line, 2nd down. And the thing that the Matewan Tigers fullbacks are doing there, they're running that inside trap play, and they're really running east and west. They're not getting really distance up the field, even though they picked up 2 yards on that play. Here's a
trying to get around the end, and the Jacks string it out, and a nice play by number 50 for the Lumberjacks, Brad Miracle, coming across, and he did not lose his contain, and he puts the stop on Alera, and RK goes back to the huddle thinking, well, maybe we shouldn't try to string him out. Maybe we should try to go up straight into the hole.
Yes, they're going to take a look at here, fake that inside trap with the guard pulling here. He's just looking and looking. There's no place to go. The white shirts are there. Nice job there by Mr. Miracle stringing it out. 3rd and 5 from the 11 for the Tigers. Straight dive.
Hand off to Alera, and he won't get there. He'll be short, but Coach, now are you in a 4-down situation early in the ball game?
Excuse me, yes. Water just dripped in my eyes. Right now, I feel that he is very confident with the strength that he has here. We're looking 4th and a yard down here, that he'll just line up and go ahead and run some type of power formation, probably behind big number 77. We haven't mentioned earlier to the folks, number 77 is a sophomore out there, Sid Cisco, 6'6", 304, and there's not too much loose on that young man.
No, he's just a big individual, and he'll probably get the call here as Kennedy hands off to Alera, and I don't know if he got it stacked up and pushed back. It'll be real close. It'll all depend on the spot.
It looks like he got a pretty good spot there, Bill.
The Lumberjacks say he didn't get it. The officials say, well, let's take a timeout and move the chains in here, and I think he got a generous spot as well.
We'll take a look at it here. They're lined up in a straight T formation, dive to the right-hand side. Right there, the initial blow. Delivered looked like by number 80, Steve Kane for the Lumberjacks.
I think he may have gotten the spot he needed. I don't know. They'll stretch it out. Lumberjacks hoping for some extra length, but he got that by a football and a half.
As we saw there, the initial pop was made behind the line of scrimmage, and he just kept his leg drive looking. Let's take a look at it right here. So we can pick up where he goes right there. A lot of people shoving him back, but the side judge came in and put his foot down right away. So we're first and goal from the 6.5-yard line.
Out with a wing to the near side, handoff,
quarterback keep.
And it's Kennedy keeps it. He's into the end zone for Matewan, touchdown. Well, the Matewan Tigers, they move it down the field, and really the big play in the first drive is the fake punt.
Yes, the Valley defense gets caught off guard here. We'll take a look at it. Just faking that dive in there and putting the ball back on his hip. Nice block by A.J. Johnson for him to let him clear the outside.
Good fake by Kennedy. Had me faked out. I looked down, thought he had given the ball off, but he kept and went into the end zone. And Kennedy picks up the first score of the game to make it 6-0.
Matewan lining up on the spread the left-hand side in case Valley didn't cover them. They could always side center it over. We're probably going to have a delay of game.
Delay of game, and head coach Yogi Kinder very, very upset on the sideline. We take another look at it, Coach, and this is what you like to see from your quarterback. Put that ball right on the hip, no one can see it.
Not at all. Everybody went inside because they were just running that power game inside between the end zone down the field there, and he took it right there in the end zone without any problem. We see Coach Yogi Kinder on that sideline is very incensed with one young man out there. I don't know if he didn't get lined up quick enough or he considered a mental error on their part, but he's really giving them a good tongue lashing.
Well, this is the third time in a row that Matewan has come to the state championship game, and they have come up empty the last 2 times they've been to the state championship title game. 6 times as a school, or they have 6 playoff appearances. They've yet to win a state title. This is their 3rd year in a row. And in one of the morning papers down here in Charleston today, one of the writers from down in this area of the state said that the Matewan Tigers were the Cadillac of the Class A division, while the Valley Lumberjacks were more like a Volkswagen. I don't think you win 13 games in a season if you're not a good team. Now the extra point attempt is up, and it is good, straight through the uprights. So the Tigers tack on the extra point to make it 7-0. The scoring drive, 64 yards, 5 minutes and 17 seconds long. Kennedy scores, and on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard, Matewan takes a 7-0 lead. The Lumberjacks will have their first crack at football when we come back.
High School Game of the Week featuring Valley and Matewan, brought to you in part by Bill Forbes Chevrolet. New Martinsville Healthcare Center. The Health Plan, community commitment, staying well. Fox Run Hospital, lighting the road to recovery. Hardee's, all kinds of good stuff. And Fed One Savings Bank.
And welcome back to Charleston, West Virginia, the site of the West Virginia Class A championship game. Matewan takes a 7-0 lead on the Eric Kennedy touchdown run. A 64-yard drive, and Gene Stabile, the key play in that drive, a fake punt. They worked it to perfection, did Matewan.
Yeah, and you talk about small things in a ball game that can make a big difference. Last night, Steubenville Catholic Central goes for the fake punt deep in their own territory late in the game. They don't make it. It cost them a tie, almost cost them a ball game. Matewan takes a big chance early in the ball game. They get the first down, they drive downfield, they get the touchdown, they're up 7-0. Small things in a game, a fake punt, that's one of the big small things.
It sure is, and what that tells you, I think, is that the head coach from Matewan, Yogi Kinder, confidence in his defense, because if they don't make that first down, the Lumberjacks get the ball inside the Matewan 50-yard line to start.
Yes, he's apparently very, very confident in his team's ability to stop them. We'll see right here now.
Kick comes down to the 12-yard line, fielded there by the Lumberjacks, and a nice run getting to the corner. is Ballwan's, and he is the starting quarterback, and a late hit way out of bounds. And no flag, and I don't know, maybe we can take a look at that on the replay, but it looked like Ballwan's was out of bounds, coached by a good yard or so. And he took a pretty good shot in the back, but good field position nonetheless, as we take a look at it again. Hilaria there puts the first hit on him, but then Ballwan's out of bounds.
Right there, number 50 came into him. He was definitely out of bounds on that play.
Well,
that's something we have to overcome.
39-yard line for the Lumberjacks on their first possession of the game. 6:34 to go. First quarter, Matewan on top by a score of 7-0. Shotgun formation. The Jacks looking to throw. Dakin to the outside, and he has a man. Number 13, Jimmy Stover. He hauls it in for about an 8-yard gain on first down. I'm going to check that, make that a 7-yard gain. We'll call it 2nd and 3. We take a look at the offense for the Lumberjacks. Dakin, Yoho, Ballwan's the tailback. I said he was the quarterback. Got a little too excited on the kickoff return. Stover, Kane, and Boucher up front. And then it's Brown, Ice, Miracle, and Potts and Brown, your offensive line. Shotgun again. Dakin rolls, looks downfield, and it's incomplete. Almost picked off. Therefore, the Matewan Tigers was R.K. Alera, and we have a flag on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer against the Tigers, and that will help the Valley Lumberjacks out immensely.
Coach West was true to his word. He said if he could get any kind of field position on his first offensive series, that he would come out in the shotgun that they've been working on, and so far it's done the job for him. 8-yard completion and a 15-yard penalty.
Ball moved all the way down to the 38-yard line of Matewan.
Looks like Jeremy's coming up under center. Yes, coming up into the regular offensive formation now.
Handoff straight ahead on the carry for the Valley Lumberjacks, number 33, Sean Yoho.
Don't be surprised to see Coach West comes back out again in a shotgun formation. So here in a power formation, they're just trying to isolate and run at those big people inside, and drives ahead for a 2-yard gain on first down. But I don't think that this is one thing that Valley's going to be able to do down after down tonight, and that is try to power the football. And as we say that, here they come out in their shotgun.
2nd and 8 for Dakin and the Jacks. Dakin pump fakes, looks downfield, has a man, and oh, what a catch! Oh, Gene Stabile was right there. I don't know, was he in or was he out?
Bill, it all depends how you consider in or out, Bill. When he came down, his arms hit first. That's out. His feet came in inbounds. They hit second. In or out? Coach, you tell us.
Jason Ballwan's with the reception, number 23. We'll take a look at it again. And, Coach, what do you think?
Well, Mr. Stabile is right there on the play, and his elbows came down out of bounds first. Leaves the ground. Lands.
Ooh, that's a close call.
Well, looks like his knees might have been inbounds.
Now back to live action. Dakin downfield and had the intended receiver slip down as the pass went behind him. Number 13, Jimmy Stover. Let's take a look at it again from the ground angle.
See him sprinting to his right-hand side here and throwing the out and up pattern. Right there is his knees down in bounds.
Got it. Now you see now. Right there.
That's a completed pass with his knees landing in bounds in that situation right there.
Well, they didn't rule it a catch, but it's still a great catch and a great effort. Well, right now with 4th and 8 facing the Valley Lumberjacks, head coach Tom West has decided to call a timeout. And he will talk things over with his Jacks on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. Matewan 7, Valley nothing. Matewan scored on their first possession of the game, a 64-yard drive, 5 minutes and 17 seconds long. Eric Kennedy goes in from 5 yards out. Key play in the game, which we talked about. Key play in that drive for Matewan. They come up with the fake punt. And Gene, any talking down there about whether he's in or out? Some opinions from the sideline?
Really, everybody's just kind of standing and staring at each other. I mean, he came down, as you saw on the replay, the elbows were out. The knees then came down. Now, it's interpretation. I don't have a rule book. I can't look it up right now, but it's interpretation. As you see, the elbows down, then the knees down, then the feet down. The elbows came down first, out of bounds. If it's first touch, then it's a good call.
Yes, first touch, Gene.
Well, right now, the Valley Lumberjacks will line up in a punt formation with the ball spotted at the 36-yard line. Let's see if the Jacks go for the fake. They're going to kick it away, and first we're going to have a flag, so we'll have to wait and see exactly.
Punter was number 50, Brad Miracle. Flag on the play.
Looks like we're going to have a motion against the center. It looked like the call, it's a false start, but the side judge, the line judge who came in, making a motion as if the center was moving the ball before he snapped it. And so Brad Miracle will have an opportunity to kick again. Motion penalty against the Jacks. Still fourth down, but it'll be 5 yards deeper.
Which is not a bad penalty on this spot on the football field, because now you're playing the ball from outside the 40-yard line. That last kick there, he had a nice coffin corner angle for it. Ball went out of bounds about 3 yards deep in the end zone. So we can get the exact same kick again. It'll be a perfect coffin corner kick.
Goff and Starr back deep for the Tigers, and I'll tell you what, a heavy rush put on by the Tigers, and the ball goes out of bounds, a shank kick, and Brad Miracle, a tough one as he thinks about it at midfield. Ball goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 the other way for the Tigers, and that's what the Valley didn't need.
No, with the pressure coming from the outside there, good chance that the punter was taking his eye off of the ball. We'll take a look at it here from the punter's right-hand side. His head is up there, looking at the green shirt coming out, and the ball just goes right off the side of his foot.
Patty Ford did a good job of not running into the kicker, getting away from him. Handoff to the tailback, and that looks like it's Alera, number 43 on the carry.
Yes. One thing that we're not seeing tonight, watch the offensive line search here coming off. Watch the green shirts just take the white shirts. Leg drive still going, still going. That's 9 yards on 1st down.
2nd down and short for the Tigers, and they are just pounding inside, and Alera will get the 1st down, or it'll be close depending on the spot. I think he had enough for the 1st down. 4:13 to go, 1st quarter of play, clock moving. Valley Lumberjacks and the Matewan Tigers, West Virginia Class A state championship game of 1993. I'm Bill Phillips along with Coach Ty Fleming. Gene Stabile down on the sideline. The 3rd OVAC team of the year looking for a state title. Steubenville Central comes up a winner in Ohio Division 5 on Friday night. The Magnolia Blue Eagles, for the 2nd year in a row, come up just a bit short as they lose to East Bank by a score of 16-14, an exciting ball game. And tonight, the Lumberjacks taking on the Matewan Tigers in the Class Single A championship game of West Virginia. And on 1st down, about 5 yards for the Matewan Tigers on the carry. It looked like it was Johnson.
Yes, it was A.J. again. A.J. Johnson really has taken up a load of carrying the ball this year for the Matewan Tigers. They had a back that was going to be one of the best in the state, Rodney Joplin. As we look here at the off-tackle power play, just following his back, leading up there for him and picking up 6 yards on 1st down.
Goff goes in motion, handoff to Johnson again. Big hole, he's into the secondary and dives down close to the 31-yard line. And right now, that Tiger offense feeling it as they are just moving the ball at will right now. Right here, you're in a situation, Coach, you're down 7-0, 3:10 or so to go in the 1st quarter of play. State championship game. Your head coach, Tom West, maybe the kids are starting to question themselves a little bit. What do you do to keep them focused on what they have to
right
accomplish?
Now, you want to try to do something defensively. You got to go ahead and take some gambles. You got to start sending some linebackers and really playing some games in there to try to get in the backfield before those big offensive linemen can get their bodies on you.
Johnson again on the carry. Steve Kane with the tackle, and if you saw it on the play, Kane also trying to rip the ball out as he went for the tackle. Pickup of about 3 on the play.
And as we were speaking, we see the trap coming right there.
There's Kane.
We saw people there. We see people in the white shirts there in the backfield. You know, Valley is trying to get people through the gaps and bring their linebackers up inside there, so they don't have to try to take that power on.
Tigers officially pick up 4 on first down, so it's 2nd and 6. Handoff to Alara. He comes around the end. Nice tackle coming in and going low for the stop. Number 23 for the Valley Lumberjacks, Jason Ballwant.
Nice job there by Jason coming in, knifing down, taking low. We'll see the lead blocker being taken on here by Steve Kane. Steve takes him out of the play, then Jason just comes up and cleans him up. 3rd down and a short 3 on the 25-yard line.
Goff comes off the sideline, lines up in a wing, and he goes in motion. Handoff to Johnson. He'll have the first down and more, diving down close to the 15-yard line. They'll spot him at the 16, and the Tiger drive is still alive.
Just good power football. That's all they're doing right now, just lining up and taking it to them there. Right there, we got the guard pulling out. We call that the bingo block, and by that we mean we're going to block in and guard out. They took their tackle and tight end down inside, brought the onside guard and kicked the end out, led out with the halfback.
1st and 10 from the 16-yard line, and Alara on the carry, straight ahead for about 3.
Ball carried by number 43, R.K. Alara.
I'll tell you what, Alara's got some pretty good size, 5'10", 180 pounds, but his running mate, A.J. Johnson, really a bruiser at 6', 214.
As we take a look on the replay here, just a straight dive that they've been running down the field, trying to mix it up a little bit, dive him inside, and then take the fullback to the outside off the tight end there.
Under a minute to go, first quarter play. Johnson on the carry at the 10, all the way down to the 5-yard line. He'll have a first down for the Tigers. It'll be 1st and goal from about the 5-yard line. And nothing fancy now. I think what happened at the beginning of the game, the Tiger offense decided to try to go around in. Too much speed from the Lumberjacks. Right now, they're just going to try to establish the straight-ahead running.
Line up and just go right on right there. You see that he's picking up 6 yards there before a white shirt is coming up on him, and that's just the size and the strength of the Matewan Tiger offensive line coming into play.
Johnson on the carry, 3, 2, 1, and he is not in.
Now mark him short.
The Jacks come up with the stop. Number 13, Stover, along with some company, pull Johnson down just short of the goal line. And the quarter is about to come to a close as it rolls down inside of 3 seconds. As we take a look at the replay, Coach.
And this is just the power football. You see the back dive, the halfback dive, and then just the fullback just running that power off tackle down to the half-inch line. So as we end up here the first quarter with Matewan leading Valley 7-0, and Matewan ready to punch in another one.
Matewan looking to go up by more. The Jacks, they have to answer some questions. We'll find out if they can do it when we come back right after this.
On the next countdown at the Neon Armadillo, it's the hit sounds of Lori Morgan.
But that wouldn't be happiness.
Plus, superstars Colin Ray and Mark Colley performing their favorite love songs on a special countdown at the Neon Armadillo. Sunday night at 11:30 on WTOV9.
And welcome back to the WTOV9 High School Football Playoff Game of the Week, the 3rd one of the week. Valley Lumberjacks and the Matewan Tigers. Matewan right now 7-0 lead. They have the ball on the 1-yard line. Actually 1-foot line. And right now we go down to Gene Seville. And Gene, what can the Jacks do to come up with a stop?
I don't know about that. What I had for you first, Bill, and then we'll talk about that, is each of the Matewan players is wearing a 24 on the left side of their helmet, and that's in memory, I shouldn't say in memory of, but in honor of, if you will, Rodney Johnson, one of their teammates who was hurt very early in the season and could not finish the season. In the meantime, you talk about what can they do to stop him. We'll talk to you after the play.
Well, we'll find out if they can do it. Kennedy, handoff, Johnson straight ahead, and he is in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Tigers.
Number 42, Andrew Johnson, the
Nothing fancy, Coach, just straight ahead. And I'll tell you what, the Jacks didn't give much ground, but he had just enough to get in.
They didn't need much ground. As we said, that was just a nice short yardage football play there. Just needed inches to punch it in there. And right there, you see his knees going across the goal line.
A.J. Johnson with the touchdown, and will lead for the Tigers up to 13-0. Extra point attempt is up, and it is through the repaired goal post. Last night at the end of the game between Magnolia and East Bank, the East Bank players tore it down. As we take a look at the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard, Matewan 14, Valley nothing. And Coach, we talked about the goalposts, and Gene was not here for that, but some of the players hung on the goalpost. They tore it down. They were up all night trying to get it fixed, and they did a pretty good job.
Yes, they did. They went to a metal shop this morning and had a bar bent to put up there at 90 degrees angle. Doesn't have the arc. We'll see it at the other end of the field during the game, but it's up there, and it did the job for the noon AAA game, and it's doing a job tonight. And let's go down to the sideline and have a talk with Gene again. Gene?
Well, you know, you talked earlier about what can Valley do to stop Matewan. Ty, I agree with you 100%. I really think what Valley has to start doing is taking the linebackers and start gambling. Start filling A gap, B gap, C gap, throwing people up in there and taking a chance. The damage is being done when the line blows Valley's line off, and it's happening time after time again. The size difference is too much to go toe-to-toe with them. They have to start taking the chances that you mentioned early. And they have to get something going on this offensive series. They have to get the ball down the field, get some kind of points on the board, or they're in deep trouble.
Yes, definitely, especially here early in the ball game like this. You know, they go in here now and go 3 downs and out, and Matewan takes that ball down to score, puts it up to 21-0. You know, it's Katie bar the door already.
Well, we'll find out what the Jacks can do as Johnson kicks off. End-over-end kick comes down to the 18-yard line, fielded there by an up back for the Lumberjacks, and off and running out to about the 37-yard line, number 20. That's Jeremy Boer. Jeremy Boer with the carry all the way back to the 38-yard line. And I'll ask both you gentlemen, as we get ready for the offensive look at the Jacks, do you put 11 men in the box right now? The Tigers seem to be happy just to run the football, put 11 men up there and go after?
No, I wouldn't go 11. I'd go 9.
Okay. Gene, how many?
Gene evidently can't hear us down there, but I'd go ahead and, as you say, put everybody we can up on that line of scrimmage. Gene, we're discussing up here. Bill says put 11 men in the box, and I differed and said only 9. What's your
I don't like 9. I like to put 8 up there, keep my 3 DBs back, and make one play like a monster, keep the extra guy moving around.
Well, on first down, the Lumberjack offense stacked up at the line of scrimmage on the carry for the Lumberjacks ball wands, and he is stacked up by a host of Tigers. And short gain. Actually, it's going to be a loss of a yard.
Yes,
They'll bring up 2nd and 11.
Try to run a little counter action back there by trapping with the tailback to the side away from the power formation, but the Matewan defensive linemen were standing there waiting on it. So here they come back out in their shotgun formation, which they've had the most success with tonight.
Wilson Chafin on the tackle on the last play. Shotgun formation for Dakin and the Jacks. Dakin looks to the sideline, has a man, it's incomplete. And the intended receiver, number 33, Sean Yoho, paid for the mistake as coming across number 64, Tad Moore. He got a hit. The linebacker came over quickly, and Yoho wouldn't have much room to run, but he took the shot, and most receivers are saying, catch the football if you're going to take the hit.
That's exactly right. And what happened there, the James Stone King, the linebacker right there, is coming right into the play there and had a clear shot at him.
Gene?
I'm not real sure, but because I don't have the up-close view that you might have right now. What kind of a ball are they using? Is that a rubberized ball?
It looks like it.
I imagine it's an all-weather ball, Gene.
Well, Sean Yoho on the carry out to about the 40-yard line. He was twisted back like a pretzel, and he was pick up of about 3 yards on the play. They'll bring up 4th and about 7.
Yes, they make a ball, Gene, that has almost, it's like a rubber coating out there, so it does not get heavy or anything. And you use that in the wet weather games. We always had to supply them on hand.
It looked like it from here. I couldn't quite tell.
Kick away, a low line drive kick. It'll bounce at the 30-yard line. It's bobbled, and the Jacks have a chance. Ball still loose, and it looks like Goff may have gotten to it. for the Tigers, but oh, what an opportunity for Valley. And it was Dakin down there quickly, but he couldn't come up with the football. It'll be 1st and 10 the other way for Matewan. Take a look at it again, Coach, and how close is this?
Oh, yes, it's his buddy coming over that saves the day for him right there. The initial man downfield there for Valley couldn't slow up and get himself under control to go for the football there. Jeremy Dakin. And number 2 then for Matewan fell on the ball, Michael Goff, and saved it for him on the 24-yard line. Let's see up here if the Valley defense starts to go ahead and do some gambling like the Press Box coaches is predicting.
Al Johnson strung out. Brad Miracle coming across along with Steve Long to make the stop on A.J. Johnson after a short gain. I actually picked up more than I thought he did, Coach. Got about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, and that's just again, the result of that offensive line coming off there, knocking the white shirts backwards. And, you know, he's just making that run up through there, and there's no white shirt near him when they make the contact. He's already picked up 3 yards he did on that first down. Comes that counter again.
And a counter, and it is snuffed out. Steve Kane is playing himself one heck of a defensive ball game. Big number 80 for the Lumberjacks. He saw it coming, and he took off down from behind.
Yes, he's the left defensive end, and he smelled out that counter there with that wing back lining up right there on his nose. You see the feet there of the ball carrier coming from the top of the screen back in as you see him receiving the ball right there is number 80 coming from behind. Steve Kane had just followed him down the line of scrimmage and took him down for a 2-yard loss. So we're looking now at 3rd and 9.
Big play here for the Jacks. A stop in order.
There's that fake.
Kennedy on the fake looking to pass downfield. No one open. He's being pressured, and it's Kane again making the dive, but getting off the football incomplete was Kennedy. And I'll tell you what, he did a great job of getting rid of the football, but a super job by the defense as Steve Kane comes up with a tackle. A flag down on the play.
I believe he was past the line of scrimmage, Bill.
Flag on the play.
Do you decline it and have him punt it away on 4th down?
Yes. That's an illegal forward pass, I believe is going to be the call.
Take a look at it again, and
we'll see it. There's a fake that inside counter out there that he ran the ball on earlier in the ball game. Now he's looking for his backside tied in on a 15-yard square in across the middle, and they picked him up real good. So they're marching back 5 yards and take it to 4th down.
4th down and 14.
Good chance for Valley to pick up some good field position here. They can
kick off the side of the foot. It'll go out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So the Valley Lumberjacks get their first break of the ball game. They will take over 1st and 10 from the Matewan 26-yard line, and a golden opportunity for the Jacks to get right back in this one with 8:16 to go in the 2nd quarter of play.
Yes, tit for tat. We gave you a nice little punt off the side of our foot, so you give us one. But anything that ours comes in much better field position. We gave them the ball there on the 40-yard line, and they gave the ball to us now down there on the 26-yard line. We got a stoppage in play here. We got a timeout on the officials' timeout on the field as both teams go to the sideline.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Coach. Tom West in the huddle. His team an opportunity here on the 26th. You have to remain focused. You're excited about the opportunity. You don't want to get too excited and blow the chance. What do you tell them in the huddle?
Well, you know, right now they've got to realize that they've got to take advantage of this situation. I think Valley has seen that they cannot go down the field and just line up, run their power formation down. They have to stay with their shotgun formation, but they want to cut down their routes a little bit. They're trying to go a little bit too deep. They're going 15, 17 yards downfield. Cut those down to 8 to 10 yards and just take what the defense is giving you down there. Gene, what do you see down on the sideline?
Remember last year all the goodies that I was able to show you? We had a torpedo heater, and we had a bag of kitty litter or something like that. Do you see any of that this year? Do you think Matewan really wants to throw the football today, Bill?
No, no, no. They're just going to line it up with the big boys in front as Keith Jackson, a legendary play-by-play man, calls them the Big Uglies. And that's what Matewan wants to do, and that's what the Jacks try to do on 1st down, but they go nowhere. Coming through number 19 for Matewan, Matt O'Brien, along with number 50, I believe that was Ford, making the stop.
Ford or 52, Alera. Let's take a look at it here, trying to run some power football off tackle to the right-hand side, isolation. And right there comes 52, Richard Alera, just burying him back on his back. So pick up a 1.
Second down and 9, and Dakin back to pass, looks downfield, throws it up. It's a jump ball, and it is picked off. The Tigers come up with it, and an ill-advised pass from Dakin into a crowd at about the 10-yard line.
Yes, they had 2 receivers running in the same spot, and there was 3 green Tiger shirts there waiting on the ball. And plus, he threw off his back foot. He ready to get himself set back here and deliver the ball. Let's take a look at it here. To the left end, going out in the pattern, the right end on this side here. The flank on that side is making the post route. I see 2 receivers. Right there's the 3 defenders. Anytime you're throwing that ball in a situation like that where your defenders are outnumbering your receivers, normally the odds are not going to be in your favor. So they take over first and 10 on the 8-yard line.
Johnson on the carry. He spins for about 5 yards.
And we've got a penalty. I believe we're going to have motion on Matewan on that play.
Ball carried by number 42.
Credit Tad Moore with the interception.
So we'll take the ball half the distance back to the goal, take the ball to the 4-yard line, and be 1st and 14 then for the Tigers. We'll take a look at it here and see if we see some movement up there. I believe what the call was, number 2, the wingback that came in motion was not set for a full second. He must wait for 1 full second after the offensive lineman go down and the quarterback puts his hand underneath the center before he can start in motion, or they're going to call that all night long on him.
1st and 14 from the 4, and handoff to Alera straight up the middle. A nice hole, and he's out back across the original line of scrimmage, out to about the 11-yard line. Second down and 9. Another big opportunity here, Coach, for the defense of the Lumberjacks to stop Matewan and come up with good field position for the offense.
Yeah, this is something that, we desperately need right here as a stoppage, because we will receive the ball inside of their 50-yard line to punt from this situation. There's that inside counter again.
Goff on the handoff. He gets to the outside, and he'll be close to a 1st down. It'll depend on the spot. Making the stop for the Valley Lumberjacks, number 66. Number 68, check that, Robert Brown, number 68, and Jeremy Boer making the stop as Goff just comes around the corner.
Yes, that inside counter with the guard pulling for him. We had a missed tackle there at the line of scrimmage. Now that the secondary must come up and make the stop. They did not make it until he picked up the 1st down, slightly past the 19-yard line.
6:07 to go on the clock. First half of play. Matewan on top, 14-0. Handoff Alera straight up the middle into the secondary, and he'll be close to another 1st down. Making the stop again is Boer, number 20 for the Lumberjacks.
2 good running backs that Matewan is running there at the Valley High team tonight. As we mentioned earlier there, really their star running back this year in the first 3 games is Rodney Joplin. We look here at just a straight dive play. Nice. You see really the crease was up there nice and big for him before number 20 come up out of secondary, Jeremy Boer, to make the tackle on him. But they were looking for Rodney Joplin to be the top single-A back in the state this year, as he rushed for over 1,200 yards as a sophomore and 1,200 yards as a junior, and broke his leg in the 3rd ball game this year. And he was just cleared by the doctor to come back. And take a look last night. We looked at the Capitol, and everything was nice and clear. You can see the change from last night to tonight.
Well,
it's an eerie-looking shot.
It is. Hope everything clear inside the Capitol. A little foggy outside.
Hope it's clear for the ride home tonight.
Handoff to Johnson straight ahead for about 3. On the tackle, number 68, Robert Brown. Clock moving, 5:20 left to go in the first half of play. Take a look at it again, Coach, and nothing fancy, just straight ahead.
Just straight ahead, just the little inside trap game there. The right guard trapping down there on the tackle of the Lumberjacks, and just giving that ball to the big fullback and just trying to follow your guard and run with power.
Alera trying to get to the outside, and he'll get out there for a couple. Coming from behind, Robert Brown along with Steve Kane making the stop.
Now by number 68, Robert Brown.
As we take a look here, well, folks will see this is just off the play that we saw before, the fullback faking up in there, and this time the guard does not trap the tackle, but he bounces to the outside, and the fullback, or the halfback, simply just follows him out there and picks up 6 yards. So we're looking now at 3rd and 3. Again, I don't think you're going to see anything fancy, Bill.
Hand off Alera, and he will have the first down. It'll be close, but we have a flag. May have a hold from where the flag went down in around the line of scrimmage,
yes,
and it will be a hold.
Anytime that flag's thrown by the umpire, you can pretty much bet the bank that that thing's going to be a holding call. He doesn't call much else than that during the game. So it'll be a 10-yard mark off from the spot. So looks like we've got the line of, by the first down markers. Probably going to have about 3rd and 10. We'll take a look at it here. The folks will see the yellow flag coming in from the left-hand side. There's that guard trapping again. This time they want to go off tackle with that trapping. He's trapping the defensive end, and there
you see Ford may have had Robert Brown by the arm.
We'll take any kind of break we can get right now.
Right now, that's a big opportunity for the Jacks because that would have been close to another first down, if not a first down. Right now, 3rd and 10, and Valley looking for a stop.
There's their
and Goff trying to come to the corner. He does not get there. We may have another penalty on the play. A flag went down. Big number 74 there to make the stop. Steve Ice. I'll tell you what, we've had some good names. Some real good names in these ball games. Last night for East Bank, Joey Goodnight and Steve Ice tonight for the Valley Lumberjacks.
Take a look at here. There's a holding call there, but it resulted in a loss of a yard there in that play, so it's definitely going to be a decline of penalty to put them in a punt formation, and Valley probably will come out in a 10-man line. Yes, they are, and going to try to go after this ball because of the short punt last time. Going to put some pressure on the man and see if you make something happen with 3:50 to go before halftime.
Ballwan's back deep, quick kick, no step really, and just the ball comes down, rolls, and it'll take a Lumberjack roll as it rolls back to about the 48-yard line. So the Jacks will take over 1st and 10 from their own 48 with 3:39 to go in the second quarter of play. They trail Matewan by a score of 14-0 on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard, and the Lumberjacks with good field position right now. A timeout down on the field, coach, as they want to talk it over to the Matewan Tigers defensively. Head coach Bill Kinder down there on the field, and the Tigers, as we mentioned before, looking for their first state championship.
Yes, you know, they've been here before. They know what it takes to get it done, and they're on a mission this year to get it done. But with as you said, with 3:39 to go in a half, and only leading 14-0, you know, Valley still is in this ball game with the field position now on their own 48-yard line. We got 52 yards to go in 3:39. If we can put a drive together and put some points on the board and only go down in halftime 14-7, the way that we've been dominated by this Matewan ball club, you know, this really could put a little doubt in their minds that they haven't put us away at this point yet.
I guarantee you, Gene Stabile, this Valley Lumberjack team is not going to fold their tents. They're going to come out and battle for all they're worth the rest of this ball game.
They're not going to fold, and a score right here, I don't care if it's 3 or 7, it is big, really. And one thing I wanted to point out is the difference in shoes that they're wearing. Matewan is wearing a shoe, I'm not sure, it's Rydell, I believe, with little ripples, not little ripples really, but little short spikes on the bottom. It looks like Valley shoes, the Jacks have a flatter shoe, more like a basketball shoe to cope with the turf. So difference in shoes, I don't think it's a difference in the game, but it's interesting, the two teams' choices.
Quick pitch to the outside. Ballwan has some blockers in front. He's into the secondary, breaks into 40, and he is down to about the 32-yard line. A great play from the Jacks as they get to the corner and they exploit their speed advantage.
Yeah, that's something that they're going to have to continue to do all night long, is come out of that power formation look and come in formations like this, not only with a shotgun formation, but we'll take a look at it right here. Just a quick pitch to the outside, and it's a nice cut up here by Mr. Baldwin. Right there, Jason come off the blocks real well. Right now, one man to beat. And he tried to put the shakes on him, he just couldn't get away from number 84. Steve pulled him down there on the 34-yard line.
Hand off to Yoho, has some running room, still on his feet. He'll pick up about 5, and all of a sudden the Lumberjacks offensive line feeling that maybe this is their opportunity to get something done, and they've come out with 2 good plays on consecutive downs. As they pick up 6 on first down.
Real good play to come back with after you just ran that quick pitch out of that same formation. But that defensive end right out there is worried about the outside containment now, and come out and run some power inside of him. It's a good combination call on first and second down.
They keep it on the ground. Yoho still on his feet. Good drive, and he'll be close to a first down. May have it.
Yes. Take a look at it here, just inside trap. Couldn't quite get to the trap man. The trap man grabbed a hold of him, but with the leg strength, he went ahead and picked up the first down. So we're looking now at 1st down and 10 from the 21-yard line. Snap the ball. He's
12 men on the field. They did not get off the field, did the Tigers. They tried to make a late substitution, and number 55 got caught. Wilson Chapin, number 55, did not get to the sideline, wasn't even close, and the flag came out immediately, and that's going to be a big break for the Valley Lumberjacks.
Yes, we'll pick up 5 yards there because he was trying to get off the field, and then so it won't be a major penalty there, so it'll only be a 5-yard mark off against Matewan. But the play was stopped there for no gain or a -1 yard, so this is a big break for us. Looking now at 1st down and 5 from the 16-yard line with 2:19 to go in the 2nd quarter.
Plenty of time on the clock, and they will wind it. So now it's rolling at 2:18, and the Lumberjacks come out of the huddle with power to the near side. Handoff to Yoho, bounces off a tackler, spins for a couple.
Ball carried by number 43.
We'll call it 2nd down and 3 for the Lumberjacks. And Gene Stabile, the Lumberjack offensive line, at least on this drive, seems to be doing a much better job controlling the defensive front of the Tigers. What's the difference on this drive?
I think the difference on this drive really, Bill, is they know that they're in trouble. They know they have to get something before halftime, and they're just putting their hearts into it. I'm not saying they didn't put their hearts into it earlier, but it's a matter now of, hey, we're getting close to the half. We don't want to go into the locker room with no points on the board. Let's get something.
Yoho comes in motion, pitch the ball once, gets a block on the corner at the 10-yard line, cuts, dives ahead to about the 4. It'll be a 1st down for the Lumberjacks.
Nice job. They brought the fullback in motion to get himself an extra blocker outside on the quick pitch there. They did the job, and Jason put a nice dead leg move on the man.
Same play they ran to the far side that got the big gain on 1st down on the first possession of the drive.
Nice right move right there, and picks himself up there. 1st down from the 4-yard line, power off tackle.
He's in the end zone. He's in the end zone with a flag on the play, and this one will be called back.
The whistle was blowing before the ball was snapped, and it's going to be illegal procedure on Valley and back us up to the 9-yard line. Okay, the ball boys have really done a good job on the sidelines getting dry balls in the game right now, and
for both clubs.
But you know, the thing that you're going to see throughout the game there, that the leather ball that Matewan is using is going to be getting heavier and heavier.
Do you think you maybe put this one up in the air on 1st and 9, or do you want to keep it on the ground? You've had success during the drive.
No, right now would be a good time to come back with the play action off that run they just have right there. It's going to be a power formation on the left-hand side.
Yoho in motion, quick pitch to the outside. Lots of blockers out in front. Ball wants cuts down to the 5, dives to about the 3-yard line. Real good play, good balance, Coach.
Real great balance. We've seen that a lot of times this year from kids.
I love bringing this up. Back at the first day of practice, without the pads on, maybe just the helmet, and Gene Stabile will attest to this, the balance drill. You put the hand down, the kids think, why am I doing this? But it pays off late in the season.
We'll see why.
The old 3-legged walk, if you will. You put a hand down, and then you put the other hand down, or possibly you have the ball under the arm, and you just keep your balance, and you see it so many times, gain you an extra 4, 5, 6, and if you can keep your balance after the trouble, who knows how many yards.
Gene, is it raining harder down there?
It has started to rain harder. Most of the 2nd period, it had let up into the 1st, most of the 2nd. Now it's starting to come down again, and it's beginning to become a pain again. And earlier, Dean even wanted to know, the special surface ball, synthetic ball, I guess you called it, Ty, is that the reason for no fumbles? I really don't know. All I know really is that the kids have 2 arms on the ball the whole time. Who's Dean? Some guy in the truck.
Some guy. Your mic's going to be cut off. You talk like that anymore, buddy.
Dean Marini in the truck, the director for tonight's ball game from Image Video. And I'll tell you what, there's the truck coach, and they're with us all season long. And Image Video has done a fantastic job all season. We can't thank them enough. But back to the field, and on 2nd down, Yoho on the carry, straight ahead. He maybe leans ahead for a half a yard, but it's not much. And it'll bring up 3rd and goal from about the 2.5-yard line. What's the call? You go to the pitch to the wide side of the field?
Go ahead and go with what you got down here, and you got to use your speed of Jason Baldwin's and try to get away from these big people inside. And we're just not having any success at all running inside, really. You know, we had a nice little play there 1 or 2 times, taking up 5 or 6 yards, but we're not going to get a lot of money going to the well there all night long.
Quick pitch. Ballwan's on the near side. He dives. Touchdown. Touchdown, Valley Lumberjacks, and the Jacks are back in the ball game. I said near side. It was far side. The Jacks don't care. They're in the end zone.
Yes, went to the short side of the field there and gave us 6 points with 16 seconds to go. As we said, you know, this can be a mental thing for Valley going in at halftime after they've had themselves pretty much handled on the offensive defensive line. If we take a look at it right here, Jason's already got the pitch. We see the blocking out there. There's number 80, 68 and 12. Number 80 out there is Steve Kane. Number 12 is Jeremy. That could have been number 12, Jeremy
Snap
Jackson,
is
the
good.
quarterback.
Kick is up, and it is through. And all of a sudden, it's a 7-point ball game with 16 seconds to go in the half. And what an emotional lift for the Valley Lumberjacks. They came in. They had an opportunity early to maybe put some points on the board. The Tigers stopped them. The Tigers' offense has moved the ball almost at will. They put 2 touchdowns on the board. They looked solid at 14-0, but the Jacks, just before the half, they start on their own 38, and they march it down the field on the ground, matching power for power. But, Coach, the one thing they did with their running game, they used that speed advantage and got to the corners.
Yeah, that's definitely what they had to do, and this is the thing Coach West can build on at halftime. Say, hey, guys, and we found out what we can do out there and what we can't do. Here's what we got to stop defensively, and let's go back out and get them. Whereas the Matewan Tigers going in the locker room going to have little doubts in their mind and say, hey, you know, we've handled this ball club, and everybody in the stands knows it, and it's only 14-7. What's going on around here? They're not supposed to be on the ball field with us. So we'll see if this little Volkswagen can putt up that hill and overtake that big old Cadillac.
That's right. Cadillacs don't tend to get good gas mileage anyways, and it's a 4-quarter game. Yeah, right now, Brad Miracle teeing it up, and I'll tell you what, a lot of happy Valley Lumberjack fans on the far side, and they see their team climb right back into this one. 16 seconds to go, first half of play. Back deep, Goff for the Tigers, along with Benji Starr, and it'll be Starr at about the 22-yard line, gets the wall set up, and slips down at about the 33 as he tried to cut back. They're credited with the tackle for the Lumberjacks, number 42, Andy Bowman. And he makes the stop, and that'll set the ball up at about the 33-yard line with 11 seconds to go.
Yes, we'll take a look at it.
I hope I pronounced Andy's last name correct.
As Benji tries to make a stop there, you just saw his feet just take off acting like he's on a sheet of ice, and Matewan is very happy to go just let the clock run out and go into the halftime leading 14-7.
Well, that's the way we head to the half. 14-7. The Valley Lumberjacks come back with a 62-yard touchdown drive just before the half to get on the board. Our score at the half on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard, 14-7. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Valley Marching Band. Welcome back to Laidley Field in Charleston, West Virginia, the site of the Class A state championship game for 1993. Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard, beginning of the third quarter, Matewan 14-7, recapping the scoring in the first possession of the game. The Matewan Tigers on a rainy field. They went in from 64 yards out, a 5-minute and 17-second drive that made it 7-0 after the extra point, a 5-yard touchdown run from quarterback Eric Kennedy. The big play on 4th and 1, a fake punt from about the 49-yard line for the Tigers. It works. It keeps the drive alive. They go in for the touchdown to make it 7-0. First play of the second quarter after a long drive, a 1-yard touchdown run by A.J. Johnson that made it 13-0. The extra point was good. That made it 14-0. Valley started a drive on the Matewan 26-yard line early in the second quarter, but on the second play, Tad Moore with an interception, the linebacker for the Tigers, that stopped that drive. But the Lumberjack defense played well, and they came up with a big stop on the Tigers' next possession. They drove down the field 62 yards, and Jason Ballwans went in from 3 yards out for the touchdown. The extra point was good, 14-7. And that is where we stand right now as we get ready for the second half of action. And, Coach, how important emotionally and mentally was that score right before the half for the Valley Lumberjacks?
That was absolutely huge. And the thing that was, the reason it was so huge, it was a big thing in the both locker rooms, not just the Valley locker room. That had to somehow do something also in the Matewan locker room. As we said, you know, they really have dominated that first half of play, and they're only up by 1 touchdown. And Valley's coming out now receiving the ball in the second half, and if they can do something with this second half kickoff, that's really going to put some momentum on their sideline.
Gene, you're down near the Matewan sideline. What are the conversations like down there? How do they feel going into the second half?
Bill, it was kind of funny when Valley started the drive and put the score on the board. They started yapping down here a little bit, and all of a sudden, from yapping, it went to nothing. They know that Valley has come back. They've done something. They put something on the board. They have momentum. They have the football. And the fans in the stands behind me are Matewan people. They were grumbling. They were talking before they went in. I heard one guy yell, "We should be up by 4 touchdowns." So they're not real happy up in the stands either.
Well, the Lumberjacks right now trying to be a little more unpleasant to their championship guests in this big game in '93, and it'll be the Jacks getting the ball first, and it'll be the Valley Lumberjacks. Stover at the 26-yard line calls up the football. It's loose, but they'll rule him down. They'll rule him down. Matewan thinks they have the football, but the official rules him down by contact, and the Valley Lumberjacks get the first break of the second half right away, as that would have been costly if they'd coughed up the football and Tigers could have punched in, but it doesn't matter. It's Lumberjack football at the 26.
Just take a look at it here. We see Jimmy Stover returning that kickoff.
That's a good call. Knee was down
Knees
before
are down.
It came out.
Yes.
And on first down, an inside handoff to Yoho. Straight ahead.
Number 55, the defensive tackle there, Wilson Chapman, brought him down. And again, that's the man that was trying to trap on that inside trap play. And that's the second or third time tonight we've seen him trying to trap that tackle. And that tackle was just be able to come off that block and make the tackle from behind. Well, we got some room to run up the middle of the field on that. I think we'll see Valley continue the second half as they ended that first half. And that's mixing it up. And here
option down
comes
the line.
first option.
Balwan strung out, and the balance drill works again. It gets him back about a yard. But coming in, it looked like number 86, Richard Mahone, he came up and really forced the play and strung out Balwan's just a little bit too far. Balwan still, however, though, with a nice balance drill play again as he picks up about a yard.
Yes, bringing it back to the line of scrimmage. We had a nice loss going on that play, and Jason does an awful good job here. We'll see the option going to the top of the screen. Fake to the fullback in there, and the pitch coming out there from the quarterback, Jeremy Dack, and then watch the balance drill again.
On third and about 7, Dakin to the area. It's a man open, and Stover drops the football. Wide open, had enough for the first down, but it falls incomplete. Maybe just thinking about getting the feet down and running a little bit too soon. Nice pass from Dakin, the quarterback.
Nice, real nice ball, nice design plan in there. We had a deep man running a flag there, and we brought the out man down behind the outside. People responsible for the flag coverage there, and that could have been a huge play this second half. We get that first down right now.
Good play by Miracle. He'll run for the first down, and he looks like he got the first down after a play that was a bad snap. He dropped. Miracle went hard into the line, and we'll see what happened. It looks like the Jacks may have started to celebrate, and I think they have the first down, Coach. Gene, what's it look like?
It's really hard to tell as they pull the six back out, but I'll tell you this, it was definitely not a planned fake punt. He had to run because he was about to get nailed.
Yes, it was he fumbled the snap there, and as he looked up, there was a green jersey on him, and he turned on speed. Nice speed there for a lineman. Nice block.
Does a good job of getting the first down by about a yard or so. And I'll tell you what, the Jacks a couple of breaks early, and on first down, it's Yoho straight ahead for a couple. Bring up second down and 8. One of the interesting things about the Valley Lumberjacks, Coach, probably the only team in the entire nation, I'm not sure about this, but their quarterback, Jeremy Dakin, is their long snapper on punts and field goals.
That's not too unusual, really, in a smaller school.
Well, okay, Coach. Thanks a lot for, you know.
I'm not going to back you up on that.
I thought I had a big story.
No. You see that a lot because you need somebody who can rifle that ball back there. And
that's what Coach West told me. He says you want to get back there.
That's right.
Well, right now it's Balwans to the corner. Gets to the corner, has a hole across midfield, across the 40, and one man beaten. A great tackle by number 84, Stephen Taylor, the safety. And I'll tell you what, if Taylor doesn't get him, it's off to the races for 6 for Balwans. But the Jacks moving the football, and Coach, we talked about it. It's the Volkswagen. It's a 13-win Volkswagen. They've proven they can win.
Right here again, watch the blocking. I hear number 13 coming out, leading away for him, Jimmy Stouffer. With a nice block right there, kicks out for him, and Jason just cuts up inside there. That's a fine young running back.
1st and 10. Yoho straight ahead for about 3. Now 2.
Number 33.
2 to 3 yards on that one, about 2.5. Bring up 2nd down at about 8. Short 7, or short 8, long 7.
Any way you look at it.
Hey.
Big linebacker Tad Moore, number 64, again in there on the stop for Matewan. The young man that we talked about earlier there, their tailback that's really doing a lot of the pounding of the ball, number 42, A.J. Johnson, is also their nose guard in there, so he's involved in that pounding of the ball, both sides of it.
Yoho in motion, handoff, and the ball is dropped. And just a bad exchange, and it looks like the Tigers have the football, and I believe they do, and they do indeed. It's a bad connection there. It looked like, see what happens here, Coach.
Yes, we're going to make it look kind of like the pitch going out there, and the ball just slips out of his quarterback's hands, didn't it?
It looked like Balwans may have been stumbling, and he was down too low at an angle where Dakin couldn't get the ball in on the handoff, and it just, they never quite made the connection, but a motion penalty right there looked like on the Tigers.
The side judge didn't
and there's
throw
a flag. And
the
a
referee
flag
did. Thank goodness.
We'll have to wait and see what the call is, but someone definitely moved on the offensive line. And it is a motion penalty. And let's go, Gene. I don't know if you had a better angle than we did. It looked like on the replay, Balwans just kind of slipped and was at a bad angle to take the handoff.
It looked to me like he put it on his hip, Bill, from the angle I had him a little bit behind him to the right, but it looked like as he faked the pitch and then came back down with it, he put it on his hip instead of into his belly. And as you know, Ty, if you want to get a good handoff, it has to go right into the running back's stomach and let him just cradle it, not reach for it. If you have to reach for it, you're in trouble.
Definitely.
Well, right now, 1st and 15 for the Tigers. The defense for the Jacks, their first time out in the second half. We'll see if they're as pumped up as the offense is and see if they can come up with a stop. And on 1st down, the carry by Johnson straight ahead for about 3. We'll call it 2nd down and 12.
Yes, we'll see here, looks like the inside people there, Danny Brown and Robert Brown. The bottom two coming up of that pile there, holding for a 2-yard gain. So we're looking now at 2nd and 13.
Have an official timeout down on the field. And not sure what they're talking about, but timeout called by the official. And the referee coming over to talk with the Matewan head coach, Yogi Kinder, and he'll explain what's going on. Not sure exactly what it is, pointing up to the press box. Maybe they want to keep the time down on the field. Maybe the clock's off, but I don't know. Could be the clock. I know sometimes if someone's headsets aren't working, they don't let them use the headsets, but the Matewan head coach with his still on, so I don't know. We're right next to the Valley coaches up in the press box, and they're still talking and the defense is doing some talking, and all of a sudden the balls come loose, and it's Yoho with it. And I didn't hear a whistle until after he came out of the pile, but they're going to call him down. And, ooh, that's an interesting call there, Coach.
Let's take a look here.
Sean Yoho, he was going to stop until someone told him to, and he was headed for pay dirt. Take a look at it again.
You see their power formation here to the left-hand side. Boom, bounces out, stringing him out to the sideline. Right there, his forward progress was stopped.
And broken play, Kennedy keeps, and he makes a nice move, gets to the corner, but he'll be short of the 1st down on 3rd and long. He's thrown out of bounds. He'll be short by about 3 yards, so it'll bring up 4th and 3, or 4, actually more of like 4th and 3.
4th and 3. Nice job there by that quarterback.
Well, here's a question for you. I don't think with a 14-7 lead. It's a 7-point advantage, but all of a sudden the Valley Lumberjacks have shown that they can move the football and play some pretty good defense. I don't think we look for a fake here from the Tigers.
No, but still, you've got to be aware of that. I'm sure at halftime they went over the adjustments there and made those outside people aware of watching those ends. Look at this snap.
Oh, it's blocked. Blocked by the Jacks. The ball's loose.
Pick it up.
And it is recovered by the Valley Lumberjacks at the 34-yard line, number 74. Steve Heiss coming up with the loose ball, and I'll tell you what, Gene Stiville, I don't know what the feeling is like down there, but I'm sure that grumbling's getting a little louder.
Well, it's getting a little louder for sure, and it's a very quiet Matewan bench right now. Bill, what I like that Valley has done, they have gone away from their special stuff that they talked about before the game, coming out and doing. They've gone back to being Valley and doing what they've done all season. You dance with what brung you, and that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, we'll see a high snap there. He tried to get the foot down and try to get it off, but he couldn't get nothing but a low line drive, and you saw 5 white shirts coming in there. You take your pick who blocked that for Valley.
And Steve Heiss, number 74, falling on the loose ball. Well, right now, while there's a timeout down on the field and the Valley Lumberjacks talking over their strategy, we'll take the timeout. Matewan leads it 14-7. And we're back here in Charleston, and Coach, here's a shot of Steve Heiss, and he does the fundamentally sound thing, just drops down on the football. Yes, but that ball had not crossed the line of scrimmage there, so even though they was trying to pick it up, it still would have been their ball, even though they touched it there. There was no possession. Ball wants with a nice move and a cut upfield for about 3 yards. Nice little step in the backfield, Coach. Yes, Valley, I believe, is earning some respect on this green sideline. Take a look at it here. More like a sprint draw action, really, right there. He makes the first man miss. The second man then brings him down by the ankles. Looking at 2nd and 8 from the 33-yard line. Pickup of about 3 on the play. They officially give him 2, so it's 2nd down and 8 for the Jacks with 6:03 to go. Pitch the ball once, near side. Blockers out in front, puts the head down and dives ahead for about 4.
Number 23, Jason Mullins, the ball carrier.
Good job, because he's picking up that yardage there, and we're in 4-down territory. And I don't know what that was seen on the field by the quarterback, but after that play was run, Jeremy Dacken just was in a dead sprint to the Valley sideline to tell him something right here. See, they're springing it out pretty good, just lowering his shoulder and picking up the yards, looking at 3rd and a long 3, as you said. But Jeremy evidently saw something very important, because he made a dead sprint for Coach West. Well, they line up in the same formation. Do they pitch it again? No, right, hand off. Yoho wide open in the middle. Yoho to the 10. 5, and he is touchdown! Touchdown, Valley Lumberjacks! What a play! The quarterback makes the read, and Yoho makes it happen. If you'll look, I'm hoping we get an instant replay on this, because they had a man over at center and a man on the outside to tackle, and nobody in between them. We take a look at it again, Coach. What a call! Right there, look, because he goes up. There's no one there. They were so concerned about the outside pitches, they moved everybody to the outside and had nobody in the inside. The linebackers, everybody moved. And who says the quarterbacks can't call their own game anymore? How about that? Jeremy Dakin, the quarterback for the Valley Lumberjacks, with a big call, and Gene Stiville, what a play by the young man down on the field calling the signals. He goes over and he says, Coach, I've got the play for you, and Yoho makes it work. I'm sure it looked good on the replay, but I'm going to tell you something else. It looked fantastic from right here. I had a good shot at it. He hands the ball off, and there's no one there. You're absolutely right. No one was standing there. Straight up the middle. Nice cut to the left into the end zone after a little fight to get there. It's just a gorgeous play. Here's a look at your angle, gorgeous Gene. Call. And Gene is right. I mean, that thing, you could, I could have run through that. I was the slowest guy. Well, now, wait a minute. Now, Gene, you want to argue that one? I think anybody could have run through that one, and I'll tell you what, a great effort, and the thing that's lost by the great, fantastic line, or the offensive line, is the fine play by Sean Yoho at the end to spin off the tackle and dive for the end zone, breaking the play. And get that ball over top of the... it looks like the Valley Lumberjacks are going to go for 2, and they go for the lead right now. And on the rainy field, why not? And that tells me that they have the confidence that they think they can score again, even if they don't make it. That's exactly right.
Well, double receivers to the near side. Yoho the lone back. It's ball lines going in motion. Dakin rolls, looks in the end zone, looks for a man, and he falls down, and it's incomplete.
Nice coverage by Matewan defensive back, Eric Kennedy, their quarterback. He was right on the play there. They brought Baldwin's back in motion, trying to distract everybody and think the ball was going to him, and then big number 13 out into the corner, Jeremy Stover, and Mr. Kennedy would have nothing to do with it.
One question here, and I'm sure people are going to ask it if the score remains the same, and right now the Jacks confident that they can put more points on the board this early in the second half. 5:16 left to go in the third. Do you go for the 2 now, or do you get the tie up on the board?
Oh, boy.
Well,
I got to go to a banquet here with Tom here in a couple of weeks, but I'm going to have to come out and say what I'm feeling. I think I go for the tie at this point in the ball game. You're in the state championship with 5:16 to go in the third quarter. I'm going to go ahead and put the kick on and make it 14-14 and try to hold him and put another score in the column. Right now, I got to hold him and put another score on to get back in the ball game.
Gene, what do you think?
I'd have had to go for 1. I really would have, because at this point, you know, it's raining so much, anything can happen to the football from here to the end. You may have a shot, you may not have a shot, you may get to the 10 and fumble the thing. If you tie it, the worst that can happen is overtime.
Well, we'll find out how it works out, but right now the Jacks playing with a lot of confidence. They're down a point, 14-13, and they are kicking off. And it'll be Goff at the 15, out across the 20 and down to about the 28-yard line before he is taken down. And the scoring drive as Yoho goes in.
And one thing that going for the 2 points does help a little bit, that is telling your offensive team out there and your defensive squad that you believe that you can control the football game now this second half, and you got the faith in them that they can do the job. So even if we don't score it, guys, don't worry, we're going to come back and score another one. So let's see if Coach West's faith is true in the Lumberjacks.
Well, the Lumberjacks defense, all of a sudden, they are just putting the helmets on Johnson and Ollier, and Steve Kane comes up with a tackle, and he has played one heck of a football game, Coach. He's been all over the field making stops right and left, and Johnson down the line. Kane plays off the block, wraps him up, and takes him down, and he gets some help from his other linemen, but Kane has really been there.
Yes, Valley is really coming through and showing the form that's brought them to this point in the season. It's the reason they are the only undefeated single-A ball club in the state of West Virginia, and they're just really battling to keep it that way.
Kennedy on the bootleg. He's got a little room. Ball loose. Football, and Valley has it back. The defense has come up with a turnover, and I'll tell you what, Tom West smiling on the sideline saying, I knew we'd get the ball back in good field position.
Woo, what a big break here. Let's take a look. We can at the instant replay. Our camera caught that one.
And you know our camera did.
9 out of 10 times they were.
There it is.
He breaks up through there. Let's see who gets a hand on him, because he makes that cut up inside there. They took the outside away from him. Number 74, I believe.
Steve Ice.
Steve Ice. The Iceman cometh.
That is correct. So the Jacks take over at the 31 of Matewan. Yoho straight ahead. And who's doing the hitting now, and who's got the line surge right now?
Again, I think a lot of that goes back to that score before the halftime that had to put some doubt in the minds of that green football team down here. Matewan just thought they had the ball game in control, and all of a sudden they didn't realize the resiliency that was going to come out of the Valley Lumberjacks. Second down and 7 for Valley. Ball on the 28-yard line. 3:24 to go in the third quarter. Oh, boy. A little motion by one of our offensive linemen up there is going to back us up 5 yards. This is the point in the ball game where mental mistakes like this can really come back and haunt you.
Motion penalty against the Jacks will set them back to about a second down and 11. As we take a look, it looked like Steve Ice comes up out of the stance. A little defrosting there, but
what that does to you, we were looking there at 2nd and 6, and we was in 4-down territory, so we had 3 downs to pick up that 6 yards, and against a big defense like that, you know, that is so valuable. Now we got to pick up an extra 5 yards.
Quick pitch. Ball wants to the corner. Plays off one man, but that man got enough of a big hand on him. Number 86, Richard Mahone, and he makes the stop, and it'll bring up 3rd and long for the Jacks. And that's a situation that they really aren't too comfortable with.
No, the thing that we'll have to see down the road here, I don't think we're going to see it in this offensive series. We look at the quick pitch here to the top of the screen. Watch the green shirt attacking the line of scrimmage. Don't be surprised. I'm sure Coach has in his bag of tricks over there. That play that we saw last night run by East Bank with a quick pitch like that, and all of a sudden he just stop and throw the ball down the field, because he does do that. There's going to be a guy wide open.
And looking long right now is Dakin, and it's picked off by Kennedy. It's dropped and fumbled out of bounds, and it's ruled incomplete. Good defensive play by the intended receiver, Jeremy Boer, as he went and played defensive back and knocked the ball loose from Kennedy, and it falls out of bounds, and the ball just hung up a little bit too long.
Just didn't have quite enough distance on it because he was behind him. It would have been exactly, if that ball would have been intercepted there, that might have been a good job for us, because that would have put the ball on the 2.5-yard line for him. But right now, we're looking now at 4th down from the 34-yard line.
4-down situation for the Jacks here with 2:15 to go in the 3rd.
And they're back in a punt formation, so they got to come running up here.
Handoff. And it's Stover looking for the corner. He will get there, but I don't know if he has enough for the 1st down. I don't think so. He'll be about 5 yards short. And it'll be Tiger football starting at their own 25-yard line. So the Matewan Tigers hold, and that's a big defensive stand for them.
Yes, again, there's that 5 yards that our mental mistake hurt us there. Nice little reverse action. This is the first time we've seen them run this all night long. Nice job by their outside people to just stand there waiting on, look like number 8 there for
Kelly
Matewan.
Fields.
Matewan fans trying to get their players fired up. The defense out there right now for Valley, I believe, got the momentum on their side. If we can just hold them right now again to 3 downs and out, we'll really be in control of the ball game with under 2 minutes to go, 1:57 and counting in the 3rd quarter. You know, when you're in a situation like Valley is, as an underdog going against a big team like this, you know, you need more or less the perfect type of ball game. You don't want to do anything to hurt yourself. This is the situation right now. They got to finish this ball game out error-free.
Hand off to Johnson, trying to get to the corner, does, tripped up, and Boer comes across. Also getting a piece of the tackle was Ballwans, and he'll be short of the 1st down by about a yard.
There's that power off the left side that we've seen him running all night long. There's that onside guard, their tight end and tackle blocking down the onside guard, the left guard pulling out and leading the way for him. That big fullback, 6'2", 215. He got a lot of power running in through there.
3rd and about 1, maybe a little longer for the Matewan Tigers, and they have to kill a timeout. And they want to talk it over. Big 1st down opportunity if they can pick them up right here. And the Tigers don't want them to make a mistake. Tom West will come out and talk to his team. And it'll be a conference call for everybody on both sides of the field as they talk things over, as they get ready for this 3rd and 1 from the 34-yard line of Matewan with 58 seconds to go. And if you're the Matewan Tigers, what do you look to do here? All they've done is run. So
just run the football. Just line up, get that ball to your big fullback in there, A.J. Johnson. Just tell your offensive line, narrow your gap down a little bit, stop your penetration from the Valley team, and power the ball forward for a 1-yard gain.
What do you do if you're the Valley defense?
Same thing that they've been doing there. They're coming off that ball. As you notice, that we're really getting people into the gap situation now. It's a good adjustment by the defensive staff of Valley in the halftime locker room there. They've really come off the ball and taken it to them.
I'm sure they have it in their bag of tricks, but play-action pass right here would probably be able to suck everyone in.
I'm sure it would, but I don't think we're going to see it out of them tonight, especially with this rain coming down.
You never know, Coach. Handoff. O'Leary has the 1st down into the secondary. Ball comes loose, and it is.
Oh, they got it.
Looks like the Tigers came up with it.
Yes. We were hitting that ball. The first man stood him up, and the second guy was coming in there, stripping the ball off of him. What's going on?
And all of a sudden, a little pushing and shoving at the bottom of the pile. And
number 87 came running in there and took a shot at somebody.
I don't know. Not sure what happened, but all of a sudden you got both sides of the field. The fans
Right there, you see that they do pounce right back on the ball and get themselves a first down on their own 45-yard line. So the extracurricular activity has been stopped on the field. 1st and 10 with 40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Handoff straight ahead. Alaria spins, keeps his feet moving, and the ball's loose again. This time, the Valley Lumberjack. Well, he's going to be ruled down. The Jacks came up with the recovery, but the Tigers catch a break like the Jacks did earlier in the half, and they are ruled down by contact at the 49-yard line of Valley, and it'll bring up 2nd down and about 5.
Yes, the ground caused the fumble there. We'll see their nice running job here. He gets up in there and gets stopped. A.J. then spins right out of there and goes forward. Right there we see him down. There comes the ball spinning out of there.
Why can't the ground cause a fumble? Always did in the backyard games. And
that's because you didn't have anybody there with a striped shirt on.
That's true.
That's the end of the
third quarter. So the Tigers we go to the 4th quarter leading by 1. The state championship Class A down to the final 12 minutes of play with the Tigers leading the Jacks 14-13 and driving at the Valley 49-yard line.
High school game of the week featuring Valley and Matewan, brought to you in part by Bill Forbes Chevrolet. New Martinsville Healthcare Center. The Health Plan, community commitment, staying well. Fox Run Hospital, lighting the road to recovery. Hardee's, all kinds of good stuff. And Fed One Savings Bank.
14-13, the Jacks down 1 as we go to the 4th quarter. I was talking to the people taking care of the footballs, and I said, how tough is it to keep them dry right now? He said, what do you mean keep them dry? I'm trying to keep them from being totally soaked. It's impossible right now. Valley's using the all-weather ball. Matewan just continues to use the regular football, and evidently they're just not able to keep them dry at all. So take a look. The fumble may happen before this one's over. Valley might get that break on Matewan's offensive drive.
Yes, that is a big thing, because that leather just soaks that water up in there, and you're going to dry that outside off. As soon as you dry the outside off, that water's coming back out to the outside from the inside. And the all-weather ball that Valley has there, the outside is slick, but it's a normal weight ball, so it makes a big difference out there.
2nd down and 5. Handoff to A.J. Johnson, strung out down the line of scrimmage. He maybe leans ahead for a couple. They'll bring up 3rd and about 3, and another big 3rd down for the Matewan Tigers.
Last time they were in that situation there where they picked up 1st down on that situation, they came with a slant dive in there. See if they come back with it again. This time it's a quick little trap up the middle there, and we just string it out along the line of scrimmage, holding our ground real well and just taking it back. Number 50 coming in there helping to clean up for the Valley Lumberjacks. That's Brad Miracle, the punter who had one heck of a play for us earlier. Straight dive.
Straight ahead, and the Tigers have it. They have the 1st down to about the 43-yard line. Clock is stopped. 11:17 to go in the ball game.
Valley needs to stiffen right now. We'll take a look at here. It's a 3rd down call. Just a straight dive there to the left halfback. You see the fullback carrying out the fake. That's the second part of that offensive play we've been seeing all night long by Matewan.
1st and 10 from the Valley 42-yard line for the Tigers. Here comes the counter. Alaria, and it's snuffed out. A good play by the Valley defense. No one buying on that one. And coming up and making the tackle going low, number 13, Jimmy Stover, as he makes the play at about the 39-yard line. So pickup of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Yes, we'll see the play that we run all night long. There comes the tight end laying the man back through for him on that counter play. Unusual way they blocked that by bringing that tight end back through there, but it's worked well for him tonight. And normally in a situation they've come back and faked that and done something else, but not this time as he's coming in motion.
Hand off straight ahead, and I think it was Alaria on the carry, and he'll be close to a 1st down. Probably be short by about 2 or 3 yards, so another 3rd and short situation for the Tigers.
They're down here in 4-down territory, so they have 2 down to get this. But again, you can see it's just a straight dive in there. They're just using that big backside of big number 77, just running behind them. You have an official's timeout as they're trying to repair a helmet on the field, and yeah, it's fixed and ready to go out there for R.K. Alara. As we said, you know, in this situation, we look there, the marker has been moved up a little bit more. The last time we looked at it, it's less than a yard to go now.
3rd and short, handoff straight ahead. Alara has the first down, and all of a sudden, the Tiger offense starting to click again on the ground offensively. And just that big offensive line starting to power the football straight ahead.
Take a look at it here. The offensive staff for Matewan is adjusted to the slants into the gap movement of the Valley High defense now, and just going to be running that ball on those dives. They try to get the tackle to come back inside, and they'll fake and give it to the fullback off tackle to the outside.
This time the Jacks there, and they stack it up. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10, and that defense for Valley has to stiffen right here.
Yes. Huge play out there by number 68, looked like coming off the ball there. Robert Brown, we'll take a look at it. Robert there at his tackle spot, and that is him. See, just stood the guard up. Number 64 made one, stood him right up in the air and slid off of it and made the tackle for a, we'll call it a no gain. 2nd and 10 from the 27-yard line with 8:57 to go in the game. Reverse.
Handoff coming around. Goff. The Jacks see it coming, and it'll be a loss on the play for the Tigers all the way back to the 29-yard line, so losses of a couple. Jason Ballwan's coming up with a stop.
Jason Baldwin and Jimmy Stover both stayed home and waited on it, and the thing that looked nice there, Jason Baldwin stood there flat-footed and just invited that offensive back to try to make a move on him, and once he did, from a flat-footed position, he was quick enough to take him right down. Right there, you saw the boy try to dip to the inside. Jason was just standing there saying, go ahead and do what you want to, son, I'm waiting on you. Nice job. 3rd and 10. Oh, look at this, twin formation tonight.
Goff
inside
and
trap.
Mahon, and inside we have a flag down on the play. And a gain all the way down to about the 20, gain of about 7, but there's a flag back at the 33, and it will be a procedure penalty against the Tigers. And that hurts because that was a good 3rd down play for the Tigers.
Great
You're a Matewan fan, you don't want to see that. You talked about the mental mistakes. Valley hurt by 1 on their last drive. This time, the Tigers hurt themselves.
Yes, I imagine out there the flag was thrown by that side judge over there where the 2 twin people was, and being that's the first time we've seen that kind of formation tonight. Those guys might have been moving out there, or making sure that the split man was up on the line of scrimmage like he was supposed to be, and the ball was snapped, because again, as we mentioned earlier, once you make any kind of movement or spread out, here they go again. He got to be set for 1 second.
Double twins.
Oh boy, they're really getting wide
twins.
open.
Johnson, the lone back in the backfield, all of a sudden.
Pull back up the
Johnson
middle.
Straight ahead. Kane there, and then a group of Jacks come roaring through to shut down the play. Big number 67, Danny Brown, along with Robert Brown and Jason Potts, number 64, making the play as they help Johnson back to his feet. But they were more than happy to put him to the turf on 3rd and long.
Yes, we'll take a look at it here. They've down before this, on 2nd down, they spread out 2 men and ran the ball in the middle. This time they spread out 4 men and ran the ball up the middle.
Jacks aren't behind.
No. 4th and 13, and they're going for it from the 31-yard line.
Well, the punt doesn't really help you. We talked about the quick kick in the van on the way to the stadium. You never know.
Here comes that inside counter reverse.
Goff,
he's
got some running room, and he's going to go. Foot race, forget about it. Goff, touchdown, Matewan. Oh, man.
Tag on it. That inside counter we've seen all night long. This time we didn't stop it. We'll take a look at it. It's going to go from the bottom of the screen. Number 2. There's number 50, the guard, leading the way for him. There's number 97, the tight end, coming around. A kick out, lead up through. Now it's just a foot race. Old 97 almost made a dumb block. 20 to 13, and looks like they're going to go for 1. Let's take a look at it again from a different angle. Nice running, cut up off the tail end of that guard perfectly. And looks like Matewan's going to be kicking the ball, going for an 8-point lead, which would require Valley to score and go for 2 for a tie.
Well, the Lumberjacks talking it over at the goal line. And Gene Seville, what did you see on that play?
It looked to me, and I don't have the advantage of the replay, I was down near the Matewan bench, near the play. It looked like Valley just pursued real heavy toward the football where they thought it was going. The reverse caught him flat-footed, and they get the touchdown. You know, 2 is not a bad idea here, and I wouldn't doubt a fake. I think he'll go for 1 and make it an 8-point lead. But 2 is not a bad idea because now you're forced to score twice.
That is true. That is not a bad thought. You still have the 7-point lead, even if you make it, but they're going to look like they're going to set up for 1, and we'll find out if there's any fake in the bag of the Matewan Tigers. But with Tad Moore out there to try the extra point, I would think he's been pretty automatic tonight that they'll kick it. Snap is good, spot is down, kick is up, and it's good, straight through.
That's where I differ with Gene on him. There's no doubt in my mind I'm kicking that ball to give myself an 8-point lead and make them score and go for 2 to tie me, because if I go ahead and go for 2 and miss it, I'm only going to be up them by a score of 19-6 where they can score and kick it and beat me.
Well, the extra point increases the lead to 21-13.
Billy?
Yes.
Bill, you know, it doesn't surprise me that Ty would just go for 1 there because he really was conservative when he coached. You know, why get a 9-point lead and make him go twice, Ty?
Because of the field conditions, because I feel as a green coach on that sideline that they're not going to score on me. If they do, they're not going to go for 2 and make it on me.
Well, Ty, I mean, if they're not going to score on you, why worry about it? Go for 2 and make it 9. Come on.
You got to have a little conservatism in your blood.
Hi, everybody. And now, well, Coach, let's give him the reason. Explain himself.
Right now, if I'm going to go that for 2 points right there, it was a 20-13 ball game, and I'm going to go for 2, I'm going to put the ball game out of reach, definitely. But if I go for 2 and do not make it, I have a 7-point ball game. If I score as a Valley football team and go for 2, I win the football game, and my chance of being the Buffalo Bills again is real good on the green sideline. And I don't want to be the Buffalo Bills again and go back to Matewan and explain why I didn't kick 1.
No nerve.
No nerve.
No nerve. Well, they're not going to go for 2 on the extra if they score again. If you're up 7, they're not going to go for the win. Overtime looms.
Well, we'll find out if the Jacks will force the issue. They need to come back and come up with
get out here.
And right now, Stover cuts it back up the middle. He's taken down at the 25-yard line. And the Jacks will have 75 yards to go with 6:51 to try and equal this ball game up. They need 8, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion.
Old Mo has switched sidelines. Just left the Valley sideline and come back over here to the Matewan sideline. You can see it in the players down on the sideline, and you hear it in the stands below us. The Valley people in those stands over there have got to get themselves up, get the sidelines up, and get this offensive unit moving with 6:44.
Well, the Jacks were down 14 points. They came roaring back. There's no quitting this football team. And right now, Balwan's on the carry looking for some room. Nothing there. A flag comes in from behind the play. It'll probably be a hold.
Thrown by the referee in that situation right there. When he's throwing a play like that, you could almost bet on a holding call. Spot foul. Going to take us back to 1st and 20 now. These are the kind of things we don't want, Bill.
Well, right now, the coaching staff for Matewan telling them to send them back, and the players had their backs turned, and the officials will move the ball back.
Well, in that kind of situation, 99 out of 100 officials out there is telling the boys, here's your options, and this is your best option to take. So normally, even if you don't see the sideline, the kid's going to make the right decision because the official is going to lay it out for him where he has to make the right call.
Well, it'll be 1st and 20, and that's a tough situation to be in when you're down by a score of 21-13.
Here's our shotgun formation that we haven't seen for quite a while tonight. Timeout while the lineman tied his shoes up there for Valley.
Dakin in the gun. Looks to set up the screen to Yoho. He's got a blocker out in front, and he beats one man, but a good play by the defensive lineman to get back into the play. Number 97 for Matewan, Robin Justice, and number 55, Wilson Chapin, come back and make the tackle from behind. But a well-designed play by Valley. They had the block route in front, but good pursuit and a good play by Tad Moore to really still keep Yoho bottled up a little bit.
He's not going to get credit for anything on this, but it wasn't for him. We had a nice football play right there. He popped the blocker there and took him out of the play and made him slow up. And then once he received the ball, he really couldn't get himself going.
They go to the gun again to the Lumberjacks on 2nd and 18. And the bad snap, it's dropped, and it's recovered by the Matewan Tigers. And they have an opportunity to put the final nail in the Valley coffin, going up by 2 scores this late in the ball game with 5:30 to go would really be a backbreaker.
Yes, Jeremy going off there with his helmet in disgust. But I believe we're going to see here that the snap
started to run right before he had the ball.
He knew he was on a sprint to that right sideline, and he just took his eyes off the ball at that last second and started moving to the sideline before he had the ball in his hands. As you said, now it's 1st and goal from the 9-yard line.
Handoff to Lara. He goes for a couple. Bring up 2nd down and goal from about the 7. Matewan Tigers have come here 2 years in a row, and 2 years in a row they have gone home empty-handed. The Valley Lumberjacks making their first ever appearance in the state championship game, and right now the Tigers with 4:51 to go lead at 21-13, and they're trying to get that score that would pretty much put this one in the books, and straight ahead again. And coming up off the bottom of the pile, it's Valera again. He picks up a couple down to a 3rd and goal from the 5. And now you're in a situation where if you don't get into the end zone here, if you run to the middle of the field, you can set up more for a field goal attempt from about extra point distance.
And put it up to 24-13 and make it to be a 2-score ball game for Valley.
Well, they run to the near side, and Kennedy keeps, and he is tackled back at about the 7-yard line. Loss on the play, coming up to make the tackle, Jimmy Stover. And now what do you do if you're the Tigers? That's an angled kick. You have a straight-ahead kicker. Doesn't make it an easy one.
See what Yogi's going to do here on the sideline. I believe he's going to call timeout and have a little discussion.
They're looking, first they're checking to find out if they have a timeout left, and they called the timeout. They had one left, and Coach, this afternoon, I was watching the Army-Navy game with the director from Image Video, Dean Moraney, and same situation late in the game. The game was on the line, 16-14. The Army on top of the Navy. The Navy kicker had an opportunity from about 15 yards out on the hash mark to it was an angled kick, and he kicked it straight as an arrow, and he missed. But the thing was, they had an opportunity to run the ball into the center of the field, decided to go to the wide side.
Like Matewan did there.
Like Matewan did there, had the angled kick, and he just missed it.
I think this isn't going to be the game-winning kick here. This could be the kick to put the game completely out of reach. You know, a lot of things come into play right now for Yogi. You know, even though on the extra points, they've had plenty of time. A block here, and you pick it up, and you can take off the other way, but looks like the tee's being placed here on the 20.5-yard line.
Do you hear anything about a fake, Gene?
I haven't heard anything about a fake. I'm on the wrong end of the bench for that, but a fake here, not out of the question. Probably be a decent idea, but the field goal does put it out of reach. Let's hope the weather comes into play. How about a little dribbler back here that the quarterback can't handle?
Snap over his head and roll down the field's even better.
Snap good, spot up, kick is wide, no good. So the Lumberjacks catch a break as it is no good. Tad Moore misses, and the Jacks will get the football at the 20-yard line, and they'll have 80 yards to go to try to come up with that equalizer. Matewan leads it 21-13 on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. We'll be back.
Around in the region like this, we are very unique. Each family and child is very, very unique because no two set of families have the same problems. Our families leave here with a sense that they've really received some professional help, and more than that, that they've received some real caring for their child.
Program Director Dan Hunt is there when you reach out for help. Hand in hand, Fox Run Hospital and you. Call 1-800-245-2131.
And welcome back to the Class A state championship game. Dakin back to pass, tries to shovel it. It's incomplete. A ball batted down by Johnson, and too much pressure. Looked like they might have been trying to set up a little shovel pass.
That was definitely the shovel pass coming, but as you said, number 42, A.J. Johnson, he was in there as quick as the ball was from his nose guard position.
3:32 to go, Coach. They've really had a lot of success on the ground getting to the corners. Do you want to go up top now? Or you want to try to establish something on the ground?
No, we've got plenty of time, but on that first down situation right there, it almost puts us now in a second down situation that, you know, we're going to have to throw the football. It was a good first down. It was a good first down call with the pressure they've been coming at people all night long. That would have been a perfect call in there, and I think we have a little confusion in the play calling from into the huddle to the sideline. And yes, Valley is going to take a timeout with 3:32 to go in the game.
Well, I definitely think you're in four-down situation now this late in the game. So the incomplete pass on first down, you're still going to get 3 cracks at getting the 10 yards. And right now, both teams talking it over. And Gene, down on the sideline, what are you thinking that the Jacks might try to come up with here?
I really think they'll go with their basic offense for a little while. They'll hurry it up. I mean, they won't take the big long huddle. They'll get the play in, they'll get the play called, and run the play. I don't see any need for panic yet. They're in four-down territory, like you said, late in the game. Even though you're deep in your own end, when it's this late, you run 4 downs. Run your offense, do what you do well, do the things that have worked for you. You may break one of those backs out of there and get the break that you need.
Well, right now we are about to find out what the Valley Lumberjacks will come with. Right now the head coach, Tom West, talking over with his quarterback, Jeremy Dakin. They go into the huddle. 3:32 to go in the ball game. Tigers lead it 21-13. The Valley Lumberjacks need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And they set up with a couple of receivers heading to the near side of the field. That's Stover, along with number 24, Lowe. And right now it's Dakin cutting it up, looking downfield, dumps it off, but over the head of a wide open Brian Lowe, and it's incomplete.
Nice job there to get rid of the ball because he was trapped back here. Jeremy Dakin did a nice job and found himself going up the field and just put a little bit too much on it. We'll look here as he gives a fake sprint draw action. There was a pressure from the outside, man from the inside. Right now he sees the guy wide open and just overthrew him.
Ooh, a lot of green out front. And not green jerseys, green plastic.
Green wet plastic out there. 3rd and 10 now with 3:26 to go in the game.
Well, big play here. You want to at least get half of this. You don't want to face a 3rd and 10 or a 4th and 10. Dakin to throw again, looks downfield, has a man, has a first down. It's ball wants, he tries to get out of bounds. The clock will stop when they move the chains, and a big 3rd down conversion for the Jacks.
Nice play, nice ball, and Jason got himself open and made sure he brought it down. And as you said, he was struggling to get out of bounds. He couldn't quite make it. The clock is stopped, and the play is getting into the huddle, and the clock is running. Right here, see fake and going away from his 2 receiver side and finding Jason down there in a 12-yard square out.
Just found the soft spot in the zone, settled in, and Dakin finds him. 1st and 10 for the Jacks. Yo-Ho goes in motion. Pitch the ball. Wands looks for a block. He's going to be strung out. Tad Moore makes a big play. He's played a great game offensively and defensively for Matewan, and he comes up with a big stop there. It's a loss on the play of about 5. 2nd down and 15 for the Jacks.
As we saw Jason coming here to the sideline on this sweep again, the fullback in motion, you could just see number 64 just closing the ground up on him completely. Right there, watch him. He's turning on the jet because he knows he has to try to go that sideline. He met him head on and took him back. Nice play by Tad Moore. 2nd and what, 16?
Taking back the pass, looks for the outside, and oh, that could be an interference penalty, but they're not going to call it, and Tom West is hot. It looked like the defensive back, it may have been Kennedy, gave Boer a shove, and I don't know, that's a tough call. Maybe we could take a look at it again.
Take a look at here. It looks like he sure did not play the football at all.
Dakin back the pass, and take a look here, and definitely contact before the ball hit. That's Olera.
And DB did not play the ball at all. He definitely was going for the player.
That would have been a big call, but it doesn't go for the Jacks. And the Matewan Tiger defense holds again. Right now, 3rd and 15.
Blitz is on.
big play by A.J. Johnson to come up with a sack, and with 2:01 to go, this could be the ball game right here for the Valley Lumberjacks.
Right there, we see number 42 again. That's the nose guard in there for Matewan Tigers. The only thing we have in our playbook right now for fourth is 22 is, so they're not coming out in the formation. They're coming out into a punt formation. We always went to our Hail Mary formation. That was our trip formation to the wide side out there, which you work on in practice and send 3 guys down the field and throw the ball where 2 of them are located and have 1 guy go on beyond them and teach them to tip the ball further down the field. But Coach West, with 1:39 to go in the ball game, is coming out into a punt formation.
Well, this is going to be interesting. I can only think of one thing, that they're going to maybe fake it. Gene, what do you think?
I really don't know if they're going to fake it. They did get a bit of a break. Matewan just got a sideline warning. The next one will draw a flag, I do believe. That would be a 15-yarder. I know they need, what, 20 or better here. But, you know, you get the warning. If someone else gets out of line, anything could happen. Maybe a fake, maybe not. I may punt it here with 2 timeouts left.
And that's what the Valley Lumberjacks do. And right now, the Matewan Tigers just want to get away, and the Jacks should down it as soon as possible, so the clock stops running. And they down it at the 40-yard line with 1:29 to go. And it is now up to the Valley Lumberjack defense to get a turnover and get the ball back for the offense with 1:29 left on the scoreboard. Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard 21-13. The Valley trails with 1:29 to go. And, you know, Gene, no flag on that pass play. What did you think from your angle down on the field?
I thought it was pass interference because he reached out and grabbed him before the ball went over his head. And I thought it was 15. I thought they were going to get the break. The reason I wanted him to punt the ball, it's wet. I thought we could get the dropsy.
Maybaum is very smart, though, Gene. You notice as the ball was kicked, their defensive backs back here got completely away from the ball.
Well, the Matewan crowd starting to serenade the Valley Lumberjacks with 1:03 to go. And I know they are excited, and the Valley Lumberjacks hoping that they can somehow get this ball back, with the clock rolling now inside of 50 seconds. And, you know, hopefully our man on the sideline, Gene Seville, will be able to get Tom West at the end of the ball game. But right now, the Matewan Tigers are lining up and just putting a knee down, and the clock will continue to roll. And head coach Tom West calls a timeout, and the clock's still rolling. They finally call it, and he wants to know how many seconds they're going to put back on the clock. But the clock should have stopped at around 40 seconds and ran off about 10 seconds before it came to a stop.
Coach West was clear out in the huddle talking with his players. The clock was still running. Just see how much time they put back on.
We lost 7 seconds. That's what the official says. And right now, with 37 seconds, the Matewan Tigers starting to celebrate on the sideline with their coach. They feel that this one is over. They feel that they have finally accomplished what they have set out to do. And they are hugging the coach. The coach, Yogi's down there, and he's pointing at the scoreboard saying, hey, there's 37 seconds. Right. We still have to make a snap. And if you remember, if you go to college football, VC came up with a couple of drops that allowed Notre Dame to get back in that ball game. You never know what can happen. And the Valley Lumberjacks trying to come up with anything right now.
A lot of funny things can happen with 37 seconds to go in a football game, especially on a wet field like this. So even though it doesn't seem real bright for the Valley Lumberjacks, they sure have represented the High Valley in their community extremely well. They put on a great show here tonight against a much more physical football team. That just goes to show you can't always decide the caliber of football player by the size of him. You can never weigh what's inside of a young man. Those Valley kids are full of heart.
That is true. 37 seconds to go, 2nd and 9, and it'll be Kennedy taking a knee, and the clock continues to run.
You see, Mr. Official, please get that ball spotted down on the ground and get your whistle into play. And put it into play with 24. That's the ball game, Bill. They don't have to come out of the huddle.
Clock rolling, 15 seconds. The Tigers, and there is Joplin, the tailback that was one of the best coming into the season, broke his leg, and that is it as the clock rolls down inside of 4, 3, 2, and the Matewan Tigers are the West Virginia Class A state champions for 1993. They have gotten a huge monkey off of their back. 3 shots at it, and they finally get it in their 3rd opportunity, and they do it against the OVAC's Valley Lumberjacks, a team making their first appearance in the state championship game. They lose 1 time this year. Unfortunately for the Jacks, it comes in the championship game, but they played, as you said, Coach, with a lot of heart, a lot of determination, a very proud football team, a very proud community, and a team that the entire OVAC Athletic Conference can really be proud of.
Yes, they represented us very well down here at Charleston, West Virginia tonight, just like Magnolia did last night. You know, like Coach Caesar said last night after the ball game, you're down to that state championship game. You know, it's just a matter that one team's going to win, one team's going to lose, and we come up 2nd place again tonight. But boy, do we represent ourselves well, and we really respected a Cadillac, and I think they might change their vote from us to a Volkswagen, put us up into a little bit bigger car. So I'd bring them up there to New Martinsville to Bill Forbes Chevrolet and put them into a nice big Chevy.
There you go. 21-13, Matewan over Valley. That's the final. Both teams heading to the sidelines. Gene Stabile down on the field trying to get a word with the Valley head coach, Tom West, who is making his first appearance in the state championship games. 23 years as a head coach at Valley High School. And Coach, reflecting on the season, the OVAC puts 3 teams in the state title games this year. Steubenville Central coming up a winner, as like last night, pictures can tell 1,000 words, and many, many more sometimes, as the Valley Lumberjacks just come up a little bit short in their quest to win it all here in 1993. We take a timeout. When we come back, we'll put the finishing touches on this one right after this. Our final score again, Matewan 21-13. Right now, let's go down to the sideline for Gene Stabile and the head coach of the Lumberjacks, Tom West.
Coach West, it's a tough one to take, I know, but you have to be proud of the season.
Oh, I'm real proud of the season and the accomplishments that we've had this year. Our players played tough. They did tonight. You know, they were up against a lot of difficult situations tonight. They were down 2 touchdowns, came back. We decided to go for 2 because we thought we could get it and go ahead of them and maybe have an advantage. But it didn't happen, but we also had another chance there later to move it in, and you know, we had the penalty and so forth. I just wish there at last maybe we'd gone for it on 4th and 22, but we didn't. That was a mistake of mine, but I'm real proud of the players. They played real hard, and they didn't give up there tonight. They could have stuck right in there.
I don't think anybody who watches this game is going to be at all disappointed with the way your kids fought. I mean, outmanned by 30, 40 pounds of man, that takes guts.
Oh, I know, and that's what our players have, a lot of guts.
Coach, congratulations. It's a whale of a season.
Well,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach Tom West, Valley High School, finishes 13-1, state runner-up. That's not bad. Bill?
Not bad at all. Mr. Stabile, a fantastic season has come to a close. Another great year of high school football on WTOV9. Congratulations to all of the OVAC schools through the regular season and the postseason, and especially congratulations to all of the teams that played in the state championship games. Some teams came up a little short, but others came up with a big win, but no one should go home disappointed. And I'll tell you what, head coach Tom West, a stand-up individual, as was head coach Dave Caesar from Magnolia the night before. And congratulations to Steubenville Central on their championship. A great year comes to a close. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been a fun ride. Our final score here in the West Virginia Class A state title game, the Matewan Tigers 21, the Valley Lumberjacks 13. Until next football season, we'll see you.